it's me, Terri, of the Yarnjoy podcast. Welcome back to another episode of Crafting with Friends. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody had a great weekend this past weekend. I think you can see in the video, but Teddy's back there. He's laying down, taking it easy. Yeah, we had a nice weekend. I think I mentioned last week that on Thursday, which was leap year day, my niece and her fiance, they got married. They wanted to get married on I was about to say leapfrog day, but that's they wanted to get married on leap year day, and so they did. It wasn't a big ceremony or anything. I mean, they got married just there with the pastor, and I believe they had a couple of witnesses, which was the man that she married, his cousin, I think, and his wife or something were the witnesses, something like that. But then on Saturday, they had a really nice party, barbecue, meal, and music and dancing and stuff, after the meal. Anyway, so we went to that. It was real nice. It was about an hour away where we had to travel, and so my husband and I and my younger son and his girlfriend rode with us, and we went for that. And it was good. It was nice little gathering. There was a couple of cousins. Well, my cousin of mine and his wife and daughter were there, and we hadn't seen them in probably, I don't know, several years probably. In fact, my cousin, he was the best man in my wedding, and my husband was his best man in his wedding, and I was a bridesmaid in his wedding, and his wife was a bridesmaid in my wedding. So yeah, we ran around together quite a bit when we were back in high school and in college, double dating and stuff like that. So anyway, it was nice to get to see him and his wife and visit with them. In fact, that he's kind of the reason that my husband and I got together, because he was my husband's best friend growing up when they were little boys, all through school. And since he was my cousin, that's how I eventually met him, my husband, because he was friends with my cousin, and then both of them were pretty close to my older brother. So anyway, it was nice. So my niece, the one that got married, this was my older brother's youngest daughter that got married. And so my brother was there, and my sister-in-law, and then there was quite a few people we didn't know, but then some people we did know that we hadn't seen in a long time. Anyway, it was nice. And so we did that on Saturday, and that's really about it. And then we just kind of, stayed around the house and worked in the house and did a few things and, house stuff. So that was my weekend, okay? And so what have I been up to? Well, I've been crocheting, yeah. And so the main exciting thing that I want to show you today is the fact that I finished the Felix blanket. I'm so excited that I finished it. And so I will hold it up here. It turned out pretty large, larger than I thought it was going to be, but it's still not, it's still a good size. So let's see, I will try to hold it up. I know you won't be able to see all of it, but here is, I've got it sideways. Let me turn it. Okay. So there it is. Yeah. Okay. Turned out really well. I had another little issue with this top section right here, trying to finish it off. I thought, oh, surely I can figure out how to do it. And so I didn't watch like the end of the last tutorial, because there's a whole set of there's a playlist, a whole set of videos. And so the very last tutorial, it got me started on this last panel here. And then, so I got up to this top, and of course then these 1, 2, 3, 4, these 4 right here, I guess it is, you have to do it a little bit different way to get that corner squared off. And I was watching stuff on what was I watching? I've been watching Peacock a lot. Just different shows, different documentaries and different things. Anyway, I was watching some stuff on there, and I thought, oh, I'll finish this off, you know. Well, I ended up ripping it out like 3 times, I think, because it wasn't coming out quite right. It's like this, when I was doing this side, it was coming out higher than this side. And I was like, oh, no, that's not right. It's supposed to be the same so it can be straight across, you know, when I get these other pieces in there. And so I'm like, Terri, just, you know, stop what you're watching, look at the video, and do what you're supposed to do, you know, as far as the tutorial's there, you know, use it. And so that's what I did, and she had to talk me through this piece right here, mainly this panel, to get this part. What it was is I think I was going up too far on this side instead of stopping and decreasing to get these other rows right there. I think that's what I was doing. Anyway, I finally got it right. And then once I got this one, then these 3 really just kind of fell into place, and I could do that. Anyway, use the tutorials if they're there, because, I mean, if you're like me, I've been crocheting forever, and I can still get off track of what I'm doing, and you know, I gotta read the directions. Okay, so I'm so happy to be finished with it, like I said. Now, I did lay it out so then you can see it all laid out, and it looks a lot, you know, well, you can see it a whole lot better, in other words. So here it is. I'll put the picture right here, or over here, wherever. I'll put it in here. And so there it is. Yes, it turned out so good, and I'm so happy with it. So, yes, I'm finished. Yay! And so I can mark that off my list. In fact, I did already. So here is my notebook here. I have SYL because these are all Stitch Your Library projects. Oh, that means I need to mark it off in my book as a Stitch Your Library. I forgot to do that. Anyway, so I put Stitch Your Library, SYL 2024. No, 2024 right here, Stitch Your Library goals, okay? And so these are the listing of the 11 lap gans, baby blankets, and throws, whatever, that I wanted to make for this year. I made a video at the beginning of the year where I had, you know, talked about all these and showed pictures and everything. So I've got those, and then I had 2 bags, the dancing pencils bag, remember that one I just made, and then a mushroom tote. I haven't done that one yet. And then I had 3 amigurumis here that I was wanting to make that was out of my saved patterns that I had already, you know, and then I have miscellaneous right here. That's the crochet hook case that I made. And so I don't know if you can see, I'll bring it closer, but yeah, see, I've put check marks on the ones that I've made so far. So I've done that one, see, it's the Felix, so that's a Felix blanket. And then there is the dancing pencils. When I'm looking in the camera, all this is written backwards. So there is the crochet hook down here. And this right here is Bluey, which you can see Bluey back there, right there. Okay. And so, yeah, the circles, I just numbered them and then I circled them. And right now I'm working on that log cabin granny. And so that one is actually number 6 on the list. So when I'm finished that, I'll get to check that one off. Anyway, so checked off the Felix blanket. And then if you watched yesterday's video, Tuesday Tidbits, if you haven't watched it, go over there and watch it because you need to vote, okay? And so I will link that video down below in the description box so you can check that out. But it's Tuesday Tidbits. It came out yesterday. I think in the title I said, vote on my next blanket or something like that. I think something like that, my next blanket project or something. And so you can go over there and vote. I have 2 projects picked out, and I listed, they're off this list right here. So I have 2 of them picked out. The Victoria's German Shells blanket and the sapling baby sampler blanket, I think. Anyway, and I've already got some yarn picked out for it. And so in yesterday's video, I showed both of them, talked a little bit about both of them, showed the yarn that I wanted to use with them. And then I said, this is blanket number 1, this is blanket number 2. And so then you can vote number 1 or number 2. And I do have quite a few votes coming in for both of them. So yeah, I haven't gone and started tallying them yet. I've been looking at them, but I haven't kept track as far as which one's winning so far, because I want to be surprised. And so I'm not going to tally them up or anything until Monday, which is, what is Monday? Today is March the 6th, and so Monday will be the 11th, I think, March the 11th. Monday, I will tally it up. And then on Tuesday, when I make the Tuesday Tidbits video, I will let you know who the winner is and what my next blanket is going to be. And then that is going to be the blanket project I will be using for the Crafting with Friends videos. Okay, so excited to start a new project. Isn't it fun to start a new project? Okay, now I'm going to put this down. It is quite warm today. I think yesterday was like 90 degrees or close to it. And so that's Fahrenheit. I'm not sure what the degrees is right now. I haven't looked to see, but it's pretty warm. Okay, so what am I going to do for Crafting with Friends in the meantime? Because I have this week until, until Monday when when I tally up the votes to see who the winner is. So I thought what I'd work on between now and then, and I'll show you because I've already started working on it some more, is this blanket right here. This is the Forever Always blanket. Let me take my hook out. I have been working on it for a while, just kind of off and on, and I found it in a bag, and I was like, well, I haven't worked on this in a while, and I really need to go ahead and try to finish it up, or at least get a lot of work done on it. And so, yeah, just today I've done about 2 inches worth, which is about 4 rows. I think each row, because they're double crochets, and when I do double crochets, they usually are about 1/2 inch tall, thereabouts. And so I've done 4 rows on it. So let me pull it. I don't want to pull out my stitches. Get some slack here. Okay, I'll put that on that side and I'll hold it. Okay, so here is the blanket. I don't know if you can see the patterning that's coming out. Not really. Maybe if I hold it up like that. Anyway, it's like an X in the middle, and then there's a V pattern that's running on going from the middle going out on all 4 sides. I don't know if you can see that patterning or not. Maybe. Anyway, it is the Forever Always blanket. I will link this pattern below in the description box. As I have mentioned before, when I showed you this before, I think it's a paid for pattern now. It wasn't when I got it. I downloaded it and it was a free pattern, but it seemed like when I checked on Ravelry's where I found it, that it's a paid for pattern now. I don't know, but I've had it downloaded a long time in my Ravelry library. So this is a Stitch Your library too, because I've had it a long time in there, years. Okay, I can't remember who the designer is, but I'll put the link below in the description box. Okay, so I may have. I think I have a picture of it that you can see the patterning a whole lot better. This is like a picture of the picture that comes with the pattern or whatever. I think I do. So I'll put that right here so you can see that there. Okay. So maybe there you can see the filet crochet kind of patterning in it. Okay. And so I thought between now and next week, I'll work on this one, try to get a good amount of work done on this one. Now I measured this one row back, I think I measured it. It was about 28.5 inches. So I guess it's about 29 inches square now. And so I would like for this to be over 30 inches. I need for it to be over like 34 inches would be good, or, you know, somewhere between 32 to 34, 36 inches, you know, something like that, you know, baby blanket size. And then I'll probably put some sort of a border around it. Maybe my, it's not mine. I did a tutorial on it, but it's not mine. It's the Pico shell border, I think it's called. I got permission to do the tutorial from the designer. Well, I might do that because I really enjoy doing that border. That would really snazz it up nice, I think. Anyway, the yarn I'm using is one of the Lion Brand ice cream yarns. I have it on my Yarn Genie, so I just took it off the little hanging thing so you can see it. Let me make sure I don't knock more stuff off my desk. Something's tangled around it. Okay, so here it is. It's all squished down because it's on this rod here for the Yarn Genie, because I couldn't find the middle of this yarn, and so I'm working it from the outside. Yeah, from the outside going in, and so right now I have it hanging on my Yarn Genie because it you know, it works real well that way. You don't have to stop and unwind yarn and then crochet some and then pull off some more yarn like that. You can stick it on the Yarn Genie and then it just spins around and feeds off really well. Okay, so what this was, this original size of the skein, I don't know ounces, but it was the Big Scoop Lion Brand ice cream yarn in the colorway Banana Split. And I talked about this before, but I had one of this Big Scoop size skeins, and then I had two normal size skeins, like 3.5 ounce skeins. I think that's what they are. I'm not sure. It's just a normal size skein. And so I had started another project with this yarn, and I'm gonna go ahead and hang it back up here. I had started another pattern, and I got tired of working on it. So I ripped it all out and I just wrapped it around that Big Scoop skein, connected it, you know, with a magic knot, and then just wound it all. And so now I've finally gotten through those two skeins that was wrapped around that one, and now it's just that one. So I've, you know, used up a good amount. And so that is, and this is how the patterning is coming out. I just letting the colors just do what they want, you know, just flow. So look how they have that purple splotch there all together, and then on this side, I don't know if I held it up high enough. Let me show you the bottom. See, I had even had a section where it was doing a red and white striped section there before it went on to something else. Very interesting, the patterning on this. Like I said, I'm just letting it flow however it wants to flow. I'm using a G hook, I think, 4mm G hook, because this is a 3-weight yarn, like a DK weight or a sport weight, baby weight yarn, okay? And so, yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's real easy to get the pattern sequence down, you know. You don't have to do a whole lot, just right there in the center, and I've got the center of each side has a little, you have to pay attention to where the holes are going. But besides that, it's just basically groups of 7 double crochets, and then you chain and skip a space and then do 7 more and do that across, you know. Except for that, like I said, that little middle section when it's making that V shape. And so what I do is, let me show you. I have see the stitch marker right there? I don't know if you can see. Yeah, see? And I put that right there where that middle section is that's forming that V, because that way I don't forget that when I get to that marker, then I know that I need to pay attention to make sure that if there's a special way you have to do that little section as far as number of stitches, then I make sure I do that. Otherwise, I'll skip it, you know? I'm really liking it. I think it's cute. And I don't think I'm going to use well, I know I'm not going to use up that whole ball skein of yarn. I'm just trying to get it to be, like I said, 30 something inches maybe, and then whatever I have left over, I had even, somebody had even suggested making an amigurumi out of it. I might do that, or I might make a baby hat to go with it or something. I don't know, depending on how much I have left, we'll see. So what else have I been working on? Well, I'm working on the bookmarks. I think last week I mentioned, I don't know if it was in, well, no, I didn't do a video last Wednesday. I was babysitting all day that day, so I didn't get a video out that day. But I think on Thursday I was mentioning that, or even the week before. Anyway, I'm making 4 bookmarks for a lady, that a friend of mine, she wants for her all 4 of her grandbabies. And so I've gotten 3 of them made. Yeah, and so I'm working on the last one. I'm working on another frog. You know, the frog, if you remember the frog bookmark, well, that's one of them. Well, I'm making another one, another frog bookmark. In fact, here's the strip for it. I'm just doing it in a different green. So that's the 4th one. I made a fox, and I made I think I showed that last week, the fox, and I made an elephant, but I will show it tomorrow in tomorrow's video, those. I finished the elephant, it turned out really good. And so like I said, now I'm working on this frog, and once I get finished with this frog, then all 4 of them will be finished. So yeah, working on that. Sarah Zimmerman put out the, this month's Under the Sea crochet along square, and it is a jellyfish square. And so I just started working on that. I've got the top done, the head right here, and I'm working on the tentacles. And so I've gotten about, I need to make like 5, and I've gotten 2 made, and I need to make 3 more, and then I'll stitch it, and then I have to put a face, and then I'll stitch it on the square, and the square is done and ready. So yeah, I'll probably get the rest of the tentacles, and I don't know if I'll get it stitched on the square before tomorrow's regular video, or not, but I'll definitely get it put together in either at least pinned on the square if I don't get it stitched on. But I might go ahead and get it stitched on. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. Oh, and I think last week when I was doing the leapfrog make-along, you know, those where I was showing all the frog patterns, I made a frog square. I think you might have seen that if you saw those videos. Anyway, I made a frog square. I think I've still got it on my phone, a picture of it, so I'll pop it in right here. So I made that, okay? And so I had talked about where the designer for those squares had other animal squares also. So I decided to make some more of them because they're just so cute. And I've got that bright yellow yarn that I was really wanting to use, you know, to do something with, because I've got several skeins, like 4 or 5 skeins of the jumbo bright yellow Red Heart Super Saver. It was part of the yarn blessing that I received last year, almost a year ago, yeah, because it was in June, I think, from a friend of a friend. You know, they gave me a bunch of yarn. And so I thought, well, I'm going to make some more of those animal squares and eventually put those together for a blanket. And so I did. I made one more square. I made a chicken square. It turned out really cute, and it was pretty fast and easy to put together. And so I'll show you that tomorrow. It'll be a finished object. Well, the square, you know, the square's finished. No blanket yet. But anyway, so I worked on that. What else? I haven't worked on amigurumi. I did a little bit more on my cross stitch. The little teacup, it's in this cart back there. But I'll show it tomorrow, my progress on it. If you're on your phones and you're watching me, you should be able to zoom up this video, and you can zoom up and you can see I've got my bunny diamond painting picture right there with the bunnies in the baskets. I don't know if you can see it, how well you can see it, but if you are able to zoom the video up, you can see it. But anyway, I've got it there. It's on the stand. I pulled out some of my Easter decor stuff. This bunny basket right there, I do have a tutorial for that here on my channel. I can link that down below in the description box. I think it's a I put it in a playlist for right-handed and left-handed versions. Anyway, I've got that. And I made that last year, I think, for Easter, or a year before. I don't remember. But anyway, that's a real fun make. It's got a big pom-pom tail on the back side of that basket. It's really cute. Anyway, and then that's the bunny I made last week and showed in last Thursday's videos. And then I have a couple of the frogs sitting up there too with Bluey. Anyway, yeah, I put that together back there for Easter decor, some background. What else? I've been making a few more of the 2-color granny squares that I'm collecting. You know, I've got like 24 of them. I think that's when I counted them. And so I've gotten another maybe 5 or 6. I haven't counted them, but I'm still making them because using up little balls of yarn. And yeah, I think that's it. That's what I've been working on. I don't have an amigurumi going at the moment. I kept thinking I'd get another Feel Better Friend doll request, but I think they're kind of low on requests at the moment. So I'm just waiting until I get another assignment. So yeah. Oh, and just a shout out to Feel Better Friend dolls. So if you know of anybody that has a child that is either special needs, as far as, you know, any type of medical problem, you know, heart problems or you know, stomach, whatever, or diabetes or cancer or autism, Down syndrome, any type of special needs, whether it be, you know, medical or emotional or whatever. And if you feel like that Feel Better Friend doll would benefit them or comfort them, please get in touch with the Feel Better Friend Dolls organization, and you can request a doll. You don't have to be the parent of that doll, you know. You can request a doll to be sent to that person, you know, and fill out one of the request forms with address, contact information, all that. And then you will have, somebody will be assigned, one of the makers will be assigned to make that doll. And there's no charge to you or the people getting the doll or anything. It's free, okay? And so, and the way they do it is depending on where you live. So if you live in they have kind of like the United States kind of cut up in regions, and then they also have like international locations as well. You know, people do things to send to international other countries, in other words. But anyway, but I'm more familiar with how they do it, you know, if it's going to somewhere in the States. So say that you live in California. Well, then your request would be given to a maker that lives in that region. That's like the Pacific region. I forget the names of them, but I'm in the southern region, which includes quite a few of the southern states, you know, like from Florida over to, I don't know how far over, including Texas, but I don't know how far over. But I have sent dolls to, you know, Texas, here in Texas, Oklahoma, Florida, Tennessee, North and South Carolina, Georgia, you know, all these, so I'm in the southern region, okay? And then they have, like I said, they have a Pacific region, which is like California, Washington, Arizona, you know, I don't know, Oregon, all those states, I guess. And then they have maybe they have a northeastern section, and then a upper, mid, I don't know how they divide it, but I think there's like 4 regions. Anyway, they will direct it, that request to somebody in that region. I think that's how they do it, but there's no cost, okay? And so I will put a link to their website, so you can request a doll down below in the description box. It is, but I'll tell you, it's fbfdolls.org, O-R-G. But like I said, I'll put it down below in the description box, okay? Okay, so let's see, what else? What are you all working on? I hope you're working on some great projects. I'm sure you are. Oh, I just saw myself in the screen here, and I remembered this blanket. Okay, so somebody was asking about this blanket. I'll move over. You see that? See? I will also put a picture of it. I did, because I couldn't find a picture where I had taken a picture, so I just laid it out and took a picture of it. So here it is right here. Okay, so there it is. Okay, so somebody had asked me about this blanket. It is a scrap blanket that I made a few years ago. It is a paid-for pattern, but I can link it down below. I don't think it's very much. I mean, it's less than $5, you know, $3.95 maybe, or sometimes you can get it on sale. But anyway, yeah, I don't know if I had it if it was in a book. I've seen it different places, but I know you can get it on ePattern Central. Yeah. Anyway, it's called the Diamond Overlay Scrap Gan, I think, or Scrap Lap Blanket. I can't remember what it's called exactly, but it's called the Diamond Overlay, and then there's scrap in the title. Anyway, I'll link it down below in the description box. But anyway, it was really fun to make. I just picked out bright colors of my scraps, and then that main color of the black. And then these parts right here, those are like extended double crochets, I think. And anyway, if you can see, it makes a diamond pattern depending on how much you space between those extended double crochets, you know. And it wasn't hard to put together. I weaved in the ends as I went. You wouldn't have to. You could do it where you would use it as fringe on either side if you wanted to, but I didn't want to. So I just weaved in the ends. You know, I would do 4 or 5 rounds or rows, and then I would go back and weave ends in, so that way, you know, I wouldn't have a ton of ends to do it at once. I believe, let me look. Yeah, you do 2 rows. I had to look. You do 2 rows, you know, of one color before you switch. So it's not every row that you're weaving it in. I mean, you have a tail. But anyway, so yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed putting it together. And like I said, you got this little section that makes a diamond, and then it's a repeat. And so once you kind of get it memorized, either that or you can look down at your work down below at the previous repeat to make sure that you're getting the same amount of stitches, you know, all that. Anyway, there you go. This is in fact, I think this was the first project that I took when I went to my first ladies meeting, the craft group women or whatever that I meet with once a month. Well, it is once a month, but I can't always go once a month. So anyway. So there's the information about that. Yeah. I guess that is it. Yeah, I hope you're getting some great crafting done this week. And if you are here in the States, and if you're in, I think there's 2 states that don't participate in daylight savings time, Arizona and Hawaii, right? So if you are not in one of those states, then remember that daylight savings time, the time changes this weekend. We're going to lose an hour. So make sure you set yourself a reminder about that. I just happened to see it on my calendar. I was like, oh, time change already. So yeah, that happens this upcoming weekend. And what's going on? Oh, next week I'm gonna be dog sitting for my son's girlfriend. Yeah, my son's girlfriend has a dog, and she needs somebody to dog sit. So we're gonna be dog sitting. The dog's name is Puzzles. Okay, and so we will be next week. I will have Puzzles and Teddy. And I have kept him before, Puzzles. And he's an older dog, just like Teddy is, and they're both males. And I believe Puzzles has been fixed. Teddy hasn't been fixed, but Puzzles has. Anyway, they seem to get along fine. Puzzles is kind of a couch potato, and so Teddy is sort of that way too. And so they just kind of they just kind of ignored each other or whatever. I mean, they weren't bothered by each other at all. So anyway, so he will be here next week. I will be dog sitting him, and yeah. So that'll be something different in my schedule a little bit. So I guess I'm going to go for right now. The video's getting long. Oh my goodness, over 30 minutes. So I better go. I just really enjoyed visiting with you because we didn't have the Crafting with Friends last week. So I had to catch up. Okay, come back tomorrow and we will have another visit for the regular Yarnjoy podcast episode video, episode 346, something, 47, somewhere around there, I guess. And I will show you the things I've gotten finished this week, the bookmarks, and all those things. I can't wait to show you that chicken square. It was turned out really cute. So come back and I'll show it to you tomorrow. Okay, I'm gonna go. Everybody have a great evening, great Wednesday. Half the week is already over. Oh, and check out that Tuesday Tidbits video and vote on my next blanket to see which one. I'm gonna make both of them eventually, but which one I do next, okay? Okay, take care. Bye.